Hello. Okay. Alright, it takes me a second to get everything set up and ready to go. What I need is a 12-year-old kid. I don't have any sons. I need a 12-year-old kid to be here to help me, because they probably could do this like a wizard. Anyhow, as you saw yesterday, at the end of the video I was making the canopy block, and today I'm going to finish that up. Now I talked to John today, and he said that I shouldn't make the frame on it, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the other camera, and I'll show you what I've come up with so far, and I get your input on it, and hopefully we can figure it out. Now, I don't know which camera I'm on, or mic I'm on here. Not that one. It's that one. Okay. So I hope you could hear me on that. Anyway, what I come up with is this block here, and it's nothing more than just a piece of balsa wood that I've sanded to shape to make look like the MC72 canopy. And the reason why I like it is that if you look at the height of this, the headrest angle and then the windshield angle is right in line. I've sanded it down to where this is the same height as this projected out. And it also goes from the hood scoop right to the top of the windshield in the front. It's a faceted type canopy. It's pretty simple. So if you're going to pull canopies, like I say, this is what it looks like. If you're going to pull canopies, you can't have any grain in it at all. So I basically sanded this with 80 grit, and then I sanded it with 180. Now we're going to sand it with 320. Then I'm going to have to Z-epoxy this 2 coats. The first coat to seal it, and the second coat to kind of level everything off. So we'll do that right now. Let me know what you guys think. How's that look? Does that look like the scale cockpit or canopy? And I just talked to John. We'll be doing Saturday at John's next weekend. I'll probably do 50% 50% to the public and 50% to the paid members. So if you're not a paid member, please, there's going to be some added benefits to it. Go down there and hit the join button. It's right by the subscribe button. And if you can't find it, unsubscribe, hit the join, and resubscribe. So we got a comment here. Hey, from Portugal or Brazil or one of them places, Argentina, I can't remember. Anyway, that's what it's going to look like, and I think it's pretty scale like. You know, the thing about this is, in semi-scale, it's just to give the appearance of scale. It's not to be scale. John was saying, well, you got a little spot under the rudder that's not. Oh well, if you're picking those details out, you're standing too close. But I like it. It's I wonder how long it is. That's the only problem. I wanted it and no more than 48 inches. So from the tip of the spinner, that's 36. 36. 48 inches. That's exactly what we got. 48 inches. So it come out right. And you say, why is the 48 inch so important? Transport. You got a 60-inch wingspan at 48 inches long. You only got so much space in your car. Try to make it fit. Matter of fact, when I bought this car, I got a deal on it. First off, it was a stick shift. Nobody drives stick shift anymore. They couldn't sell it, so he gave me $1,000 off that. And if I'd have played it right, I probably could have got more. They got me on the extended warranty, which I never used. I'll never buy another extended warranty again. Anyway, let's Z-epoxy this up and get it, make sure that I've got it. It's a little large still on the front. But I got to creep down. I don't want to overdo it. If I overdo it, then I'd have to make a new one. And I don't know, it never seems like the second one is never as good as the first one. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. Yeah, got about a 1/16 more to get off of there. I'm trying to keep the facets straight so that it appears scale, because the real airplane had, I don't think they molded plexiglass back then. They just used probably flat planes of single strength. I don't think they'd come up with a, I don't know enough about glass. I'll have to ask John when they come up with temper-proof or tempered glass. That's what John was a glazier. Yes, indeedy, that's going to look super cool. So it's this side still. Your canopy's only as good as the buck, so if you got any changes that need to be made, now's the time to do them. We might have to pull one and then mold it out of plaster and then pull it again. Depends. Man, this is hard to keep straight. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Hours and hours of sanding and sanding. This is 180 grit sandpaper here. We'll switch to 320 here in a second. If you look at it, you can see a slight arc in it. I was rocking it back and forth. I want to get that arc out of there. Not that you'd be able to notice it, but perfect is better than not. I think if this airplane flies as good as I think it's going to fly, and look as cool as I think it's going to look, I might offer drawings on it. I've done a lot of these revisited classic airplanes. My Continental, Monado, now this modern Tucker. And I put a pushed on the wood and put a thumb thing in it. So now I gotta sand the top. I gotta get this hardened up somehow. I guess I could just CA it within CA. Like, subscribe, share the videos. I'd like to see that green badge come up, a new member. So, if you're not a member, please consider joining if you like my content. I know it's boring. I'm not the ace YouTuber that some of these characters are, PewDiePie and some of the other ridiculous things going on. Okay. I pushed so hard on it right here that I put an indent on it, so I had to sand that out. I certainly don't want that showing up in the finished product. I suppose with this canopy, you could do the heat gun and Coke bottle method, or soda bottle method. But seeing that John has the vacuum form, that's how I'm going to do it, with the vacuum form. And I think that's about it. So let's get her Z epoxy. Let's get a couple different camera angles going. You can more or less see from two different directions. So put this one here. Bring this one over here. It's going to be split screen. Make it dizzy. So bring this one down. And go over here. And we'll turn that one on, cam 2. And shrink that down. Let's see, gonna work on that right there, like so. Transition. How's that for dizziness? put my arm in here, looks like it's coming from both sides. Is this a 360 video? Not exactly. There we are. That's a strange effect. Okay. I think we'll go back to the other effect. Much better. Cam 1, cam 2. Transition. There we go. Alright. I've got to clean up a little bit of mess here. I was going to clean the whole place, and I probably will after this video. So basically what the recap on this is I just took a piece of balsa wood, carved it to shape that I wanted for my canopy. I'm going to Z-epoxy it, sand it with 320. Let it, after it dries, and then put another coat of Z-epoxy on it, sand it with 400. Might take another coat. I have to get all the grain out of that canopy. Otherwise, the most minute speck transfers from the plug to the plastic. It's aggravating. Okay, got the horns here. Might do horn bending today too. Get the horns installed. There's just so much work to do on these airplanes, you know, and it's rather boring to sit and watch a guy sand for hours and hours and hours. But if you're going to be a model builder, you're going to be a sander. And if you're not willing to sand, you're not going to make it as a model builder. Sand until it's perfect. Oops, sorry. I've got to clean up some of the mess here. Let me know what you think. Is that the right shape? Type it in the chat box. Usually Jack Snabley's on there. Wrench. So far I'm pretty happy with the way it's coming out. I need to put this back on the roll so I don't, this is 180. Oh shoot, just what I didn't want to happen. We skated away with it. this rolled sandpaper, if you get the glue to glue, you've ruined it. It won't cut. You can't get it undone. But if you roll it up on itself, it's okay. Shoot. Come on. Unbelievable. Come on. Aggravating. Once you take it off the roll, it doesn't want to go back on. Okay. At least not right. This is a professional body sandpaper gold open coat. It's supposed to go on a DA. I've taken a few sheets from work, from the painter at work. Just for the simple fact that I don't want to go to the store. Okay. We're about ready to get back to work. Sorry for the delay, but I gotta have a cleaner area to work with here. Seems that I have no place to work. I'll mix the Z-epoxy in this. Them are great too. I take them from work. They're the plastic containers that 3M black tape comes in. They are great for mixing epoxy and glues and fillers and stuff like that. You know, when you're out and about as a modeler, pay attention for other uses of things, like when I go to Walgreens or wherever, and you happen to be walking down the aisle of perfumes, and you know, not that I'm looking for perfume, but there's different bottles that you can make into a clunk tank, and you know, repurposing stuff. I do it all the time. Go, hey, that's perfect. That'd be great. Matter of fact, my P47s had Aqua Belva men's aftershave lotion bottles as fuel tanks, and because they were wide and fat, and they were the right amount of fluid ounces that I needed. Okay. Alright, quick pickup on this, and there's the saw I was looking for. This is the last thing I remember my mother giving me. Yeah, it's Tucker-like, Jack. This, you know, what you guys heard yesterday, and I got Al on the phone, and Al's going to send a new DVD that's not corrupted of that video I showed of him inside Al's mind, what made him do the things that he did to build that BBQ. And that's basically what I'm doing here. You know, Al does it on paper, I just do it with wood. I got a fair eye to see what needs to be changed or done or whatever. And yeah, it takes a couple tries or what have you, but okay, there's the wire for hinges. I don't want to throw these blocks out. These were super nice. Okay, let me get a bag and sweep this off into the bag. And we'll get the Z-epoxy in. I just found out I got more paper towels. Let's see here. Well, my buddy John gave me a tool. When you go to the craft supply store or whatever, this is a pot scale. It's what the dopers used to use back in the 60s. It's a gram scale. If you want to weigh wood, you just clip the wood on there and let her rip, tater, chip, so you can always have your scale in your pocket. So let's weigh this piece of plywood up. This piece of plywood weighs 2 grams. So you're right, the stuff is not always the best in craft stores, but there is some Lowe's, not Lowe's, Menards wood in this airplane where you go through and you might get one piece out of the whole rack, but hey, every time you go out to buy something and you go walk past a balsa wood rack, stop and check. There may be one piece in that rack, and you just, doesn't matter whether you need it or not, just buy it, because you may not get another chance to buy it. That's how I do it. And at one time I had a big stockpile of good wood. Now it's pretty much dwindled out. I think this is probably, I'm going to have to start looking again. For wood to buy. You know, you might have to buy $1,000 worth and only end up with $300 worth of usable stuff, but it is what it is. Man, what a mess. Oh, God. I wish I didn't have to clean this, or have to keep this place clean. I just let her rip. But this ain't my house. I can't crap it up. I've got to keep it clean. Okay. Good enough. Z-epoxy. Change back to the other camera. We're going to Z-epoxy this this canopy. I'm gonna have to vacuum too. Let me get another one of these. Was film covering RC biggest around 90s monocoat accessory? Monocoat, Oracoat, all that stuff is still pretty prevalent now, but they used it back in the 90s. I've only had a couple of airplanes that were monocoat. I don't like them because they look cheap. Here's the oh, gotta get it up here. If you buy black tape, Scotch Super 33 vinyl electrical tape, it comes in a container like this. This is what I've been using to mix epoxy with. It's perfect. I do a lot of wiring at work, so I go through a lot of tape. And that's part of the perks, is this little plastic container. So we got Z-epoxy here. Looks like I somehow lost some of the hardener. Hopefully it didn't fall over and leak out onto the carpet. Okay, 50-50. I got another thing of PT40 anyway. Not gonna need a lot. Oh, I know what I've been doing. I've been mixing this stuff hot so I don't have to wait. Okay. The nice thing about these containers is when it hardens, you just squeeze it and it breaks right out. You throw the turd in the trash and you're ready to use it again. Let's see here. Man, I just can't get the camera angles right. Didn't need much Z-epoxy. That's not a very big area. The first coat is just to seal the grain, and then we'll sand it with 320. And then I put another coat on it and sand it with 320 or 400 or 600, 1,000 or 2, whatever it takes to get it glass smooth. Now some guys prime them and paint them, but the plastic gets so hot is that you could pull the paint right off the buck. So I don't recommend painting them. To be honest, I used to paint them just because they look cool or whatever, but I found that it's not a good practice. Get my Harbor Freight acid brush. So, a couple of T-pins. So we got dope scales and roach clips. Pretty bad. So get the roach clip out. I got it glued together. There we go. Need to take them to work and clean them off with lacquer thinner. Okay. Let her rip, tater chip. Now, every brush stroke, every pebble, every piece of dust will show up in the canopy. So this has to be perfect when you're, before you pull it. This is just the sealer coat. I don't want to change the shape, so we're going to wipe it all off. As you can see, I didn't even use as much as I mixed. Back in the days of RC pylon, back in the 60s and 70s, they had some really cool airplanes, and they weren't monocoque either. They were shoestrings, busters, pits, you know. They were cool and finished extremely well. They used torpedo 40s engines. I think those were Formula 40s back then. They were bigger than the RC pylons of those days were bigger than what the RC pylons are of today. When my dad went to the Nats with me, them guys to the combat, RC combat came, and he had a trailer full of foam airplanes. My dad said, "God, look at all those airplanes." Yeah, well, they're going to be going home in the trash. That's another reason why I wasn't real big into combat. I mean, I flew combat some, but you know, as a kid, back then we used white glue and tester's glue, and all my airplanes were soak span and dope. They took, you know, a considerable amount of time to build, finish, and look nice. You don't want to take your airplanes out and beat them to hell and throw them away at one flight. You got too much work in the thing. So I never was big into combat. You know, now that you go buy a dozen Russian planes for $500, I couldn't even build them that cheap. I don't know how they get away with $50 airplanes. Okay. First coat of sealer on there. Let that dry. Be probably dry later this evening. Sand it with 320, put another coat on it. Ever how many coats it's going to take to get it perfect is what it takes. Let's see, we got any more chatters over here? Yeah, Jason, they had a lot of monocoat, just crap. I don't have anything else I need to Z-epoxy. I wish I can't even hollow out my blocks because I can't find my loops. So I ordered a couple loops from Amazon, the big one and the small one, $16, but they won't be here till Wednesday. So we're not going to be able to do any of the hollowing till Wednesday. This block needs to be hollowed the whole way. I'm going to have to remove 90% of the wood out of this block to try to get it down to target weight. John and I were talking about that this morning as well. It's going to be interesting to see if I can make this hit the target weight. Everything's running a little bit over. The reason being is this is my third choice wood. Yeah, there we go, back, ready to go. I think that's going to look real good. I think that's going to look real good like that. The scoop mates to the windshield. The windshield hopefully is the same height as the, because I did sand some. Yeah, I took about 30-second off, but that's okay. If you can see a 30-second, you're standing too close. Plus the thickness of the acetate will make that up. So let's work on the wing some. Yeah, first thing I need to do is get me a drink of soda. This is Dr. Pepper Tucker. I have a Dr. Pepper logo on it, and it'll be cool. I've already got the paint scheme figured out for this thing. I'm a little upset at Dr. Pepper though. Walmart doesn't have any 24 packs. I had to buy these crappy bottles. $2.50 a 6-pack. That's no good. It's like $3 more for 24. Okay, so we'll set this aside and come over here to the wing and tinker on the wing some. How many guys got airplanes hanging in their kitchen? I'm sure not many. 4 likes, 10 viewers. Come on, guys. See how Jack's name is in green? That's because he's a member. Hit that join button down there. I got to do 10 a month, and I've only done 2 this month so far. Your name will be in green. You'll get a support badge from Stunt Hangar. Okay. That support badge shows right up on YouTube if you become a member. All right, let's weigh this stuff up and you get to see where I'm going with this stuff. I gotta get this out of the way though. For all you guys trying to build light airplanes, you need to get a notebook, keep a track of the weights of everything on this airplane. And don't just try to meet it, try to beat it. These weights that I have are the max, the minimums that you should be trying to get it lighter and lighter and lighter. Of course, there does come a time where you sacrifice weight for strength, and you don't want to do that. All my wings are built out of 3/32. The ribs are 16th, the sheeting and everything is 3/32. The reason being is that I like room to sand. But if you're not a sander, 16th. Now Bob Hunt has a theory of, this is a crazy theory, but his theory is if you're using 5-pound 16th, you can use 10-pound 32nd and come up with the same result. Don't buy it. He does it, but I don't buy it. Supposedly it's denser and it'll finish out, but I ain't buying it. Whatever, but Bob is a super builder, and he's a friend of mine, and we agree on a lot of things, but a lot of things we don't agree on. Okay, I got a straight flap here. This is the outboard flap, 1/2 ounce, 0.55. Let's go to mold. It's oh, wait a minute. No, it's 16 grams, the flap. Now here again, Al Rabe, his flaps are 3 ounces a piece. The big one is 18 grams, so the inboard is 18, the outboard is 16. So I got 1 ounce in flaps. Now I gave up a little bit on this elevator stabilizer because I didn't have super good wood, but it's not out of the realm. It's 3 1/4 ounces, so I gave up 1/4 ounce on the elevator. But that's just the way it is. I guess I could sand on it some and see if we can get it down. I need a mover's blanket to lay down here or something. Wonder if I got what I can do here. Piece of foam. I guess I could get out the wing buck. I'm glad I taped them together yesterday. I taped these this wing jig together yesterday, and it just fell off my sign plotter, and that's a disaster. All the little rib templates would go everywhere, and I'd have to figure out how to put it together. So we're going to do a little sanding on this, see if we can lose a little weight. Not only that, there's some dents in this I don't want, because I'm getting real close to putting this airplane together. Stay tuned next week for Saturday at John's. There's going to be some canopy molding going on. I might have it ready to go together. Well, no, I have to put the Jap tissue on it. So I think next week will probably be a Jap tissue canopy molding session. We'll do that from John's. I'll bring my computer over there and my two camera stands. I just don't have enough room here. I'd like to have this. I'm going to have to move this wing so I don't drop it off here. The wing's going to have to be done the same way. There we go. Now I won't worry about knocking my wing off. I had an airplane that I was building for the Nats. You talk about a disaster. It was a Viper. And it was together in base coat. And I knocked it off the workbench, and it cartwheeled off the workbench and broke the fuselage right off at the trailing edge. I never flew that airplane. I sold it. I glued it back together and sold it. And yes, I told them what had happened. I was so heartbroken. That's a nice airplane. I need to build another Viper. Attention to detail. The lighting in here is actually pretty good for what I'm doing. I can see the shadows on the leading edge here. And if I can see it in wood through the shadows, when you paint this, it'll stick out like, wow, I hit myself in the thumb with a hammer. We might be able to get that 1/4 ounce off of this. This is a plate stab. All the videos of building all these components are in the build videos of the Mega Tucker, Tucker XL, Mother Tucker, whatever you want to call it. I might call it Dr. Tucker's. Remember, hit the like button, super chat button if you like what I'm doing. I haven't seen many of those lately. Become a member. YouTube has put the screws on all the creators and made it real hard. Everybody said, well, you're running ads on there. You're making money. No, I'm not. Might be a half a cent per 1,000 views. That's ridiculous. And the time and equipment and everything invested to do this is ridiculous. I don't know why I took up the second hobby of doing this, but now in this one here, thank God it's on the bottom, I can see where a rock was in the paper and it scratched the wood. So, sand, let's see if I can get them out. Close. Of course, when you do the Jap tissue, that'll hide some of it. Go to the other side. You notice that I redid the pockets on these. I wasn't real happy with the pockets, hinge pockets. Now John, he paints his hinges and then installs them after they're done. I don't really care for that. So I will probably go ahead and glue my hinges in. I did change up doing how I do them, but I'm still going to glue them in before I put it together. Paint them all together. Okay, now I need to round those edges off. This is a 3M 320 bought off Amazon. It's the greatest sandpaper I've ever used. It's really phenomenal. You know, you guys trusted me with the DC 540. If I tell you something works, it works. And I'm not going to tell you something that I wouldn't use. Oh yeah, I use that. No, you don't. Back when I was a kid, I never could figure out how them guys got such crisp lines on their paint jobs. How do you do that? Because all we had back in the day was crepe masking tape. And then they told me if they mask it, shoot it with clear, and and then shoot the trim on it and then pull the tape off. That works in a pinch, but now we got stuff that's much better. 3M fine line tape. $15 a roll, but pay me now or pay me later, it's the same thing. I got it. I know what I'm going to do. What drove Stunt Hangar? Those free giveaways. Well, I'm going to do an SB11 giveaway on Stunt Hangar. And for the members here, I'm going to do a Nobler kit giveaway. So I think as soon as I hit 25 members, I'll do a Nobler giveaway. So your odds would be 1 in 25. That ain't bad. And this light's pretty good for shadows, seeing where it needs to be sanded. Not the best light to see what you're doing, but pretty good light for sanding. Probably shouldn't be sanding with my fingers on flat surfaces. I need to make another 3/8 T-bar for 320. So, we got any scrap piece? Yeah, way down there. Here's a perfect example. Here's a flap. It's ½ inch. ½ inch thick. It's a flap the same size as the other one. Solid. It's not built up. It's not even sanded to shape. Let's see what it weighs. The reason I didn't use it, because I only had one piece. 90, 65, be 30. Now it'd be comparable in weight. So that I can't say. This is 90 grams before sanding. Gonna take at least 30% off it. That bring it. It's the same weight. Oh well. I want to make another T-bar. Okay. What are we gonna do here? Yep, this. Well, here's the other one. I guess I did have enough. I don't know why I didn't use them. I think I won't cut them up. I think I'll save them for another project. So I need what? Come on, guys. All right, found a piece. Yeah. This is what came out of my stabilizer. Good morning. So I'm going to make up another T-bar so I don't have to switch between sandpaper. We'll just make something similar to that. It's not going to be as wide, but that's okay. So, with this straight, that's another thing I need to do. Knock the edges, the corners off of this. Now this is 5/16 balsa that I had here. It was an oddball size. Don't have any more of it, so got to use this. Pretty flat. I'll mark it out here. Mark it out, sand it up. I learned this from watching windy videos. There's something in everything. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. These don't have to be perfect. I just figure if I'm going to make these tools, I want them to be nice, and you know, they're going to last a while, maybe. So and I do make a lot of tools, fixtures. Too bad. Not quite wide enough for that sandpaper, but it'll work. I guess I could glue another piece on it. Yeah, make it wide enough for the sandpaper so I didn't have to cut it. That'd be a good idea. Let's do that. So need to join these two together. What happened here? Oh. If I sand them at the same time, they'll both be the same angle one way or the other. It's a bummer I don't have a a disc sander here. I just don't have any tools, so I have to make do everything by hand. But what else do I have to do? There we go. Perfect. Perfecto. Wish I had a timer that was on. Okay, now I gonna have to sand that flat. That's okay. Okay, we need to make it this wide. We're only using a little bit anyway. Okay. I got to get this flat now for the sandpaper to rest on it, because I scabbed a piece on the side that would most certainly dig a groove into what I'm doing. There it is. Okay. Yeah, might as well do this side. We'll do that with 80 grit though. It takes so damn long to... Okay. You guys bored yet? Okay, this is the side that I want to glue the damn. I really don't like a 1/2 inch handle. I'd rather have a 1/4 inch handle. We got this 1/4 inch handle. What am I going to do for that? Okay. That's a good hard piece too, so that's good. That's why that rudder's so damn heavy. So it needs to be the width of this, I bet. Yep. What do we got there? I'll check it out here in a second. It says, working on the Wild Thing 40 while watching. Okay, great. Nothing like building with somebody. John and I have a lot of fun doing it. My childhood guy that I built with was Rob Gow. He was a Canadian. I gotta tell a story about Rob. I bought a Nobler, Junior, Nobler, finished, ready to go. Beautiful airplane. For $40. From one of the guys, I think it was Bill Noyes' friend. It might even have been Bill Noyes, I don't remember. It had a Vico 19 in it. And boy, I had so much fun with that airplane. And I took the motor out of it in the garage and set it down on the workbench, and it disappeared, and I couldn't find it. I knew somebody had taken it, but didn't know who. And I couldn't afford to buy another motor, and they weren't very expensive back then. like $6. But $6 was a lot of money. $40 was like 400. And it was terrible. I had a beautiful airplane. I couldn't fly it. I don't remember why. I think I was just cleaning the engine up or whatever. And about 6 months later, my best friend Rob Gow admitted that he had taken the engine. He gave it back to me. That took a lot of guts. So if you're listening, Rob, I appreciate it. And it made you a better man, I'm sure. We had a lot of fun, me and him. But it goes to tell you, trust no one. Reagan used to say, trust but verify. I just say, trust no one. 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. Okay. Yeah. Damn. Shit, it took a half hour just to make the stupid sanding block. But I got one now. That's good. Okay, I gotta blow my nose. I'm getting balsa dust drainage. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, how does that look on screen? Yeah, that's fine. 9 likes, 9 viewers, no new members. Hit that join button down there at the bottom. Help if you like my content. Help me keep it going. Okay. Stand this flat once more. around the corners so I don't dig into anything. Now we'll lay out the 320. This will help a lot because you go through a lot of sandpaper when you just tear it off. But if it's on a sanding block, it lasts longer. Okay. Finally. So we'll mark 180 and 320 on there. Probably should make one for 220. I won't do that now, but we'll do it after the broadcast. Make another one. Okay, so I can get back to work. And there is a lot to do. All this has to be done to the wing too. And then after the fuselage is together, it needs to be done to the fuselage. This is the detail part, because we're getting close to Jap tissuing all this stuff. I think what I'm going to do too is when I go over to John's, I'm going to have him inspect it. The second set of eyes never hurts, because he finds things I miss and I find things that he misses. You know, if a guy wanted to sand an arc in this, you could sand an arc in your sanding block and make an even arc. Airfoil or whatever. But then you got to hold the sanding block in the same orientation the whole length of the flap or whatever you're trying to sand. Sanding is an art, it's a finesse, it's an eye. You gotta look and see. It's light refraction. I think probably I'll bring in my Harbor Freight moving blankets to set up on stuff, so I don't get any more dings and stuff in this wood. Yep, that's 320. Okay, that's that. And these were sanded with 180, so we're going to go over them with 320. If you guys on here are not members of Stunt Hangar, go to stunthanger.com/SMF and become a member. But when you become a member there, make sure to use your real first and last name or you ain't getting through me. I get about anywhere from 3 to 5 sign-ups a day using goofy names, and you're not going to get by me. I ought to do a how to join Stunt Hangar. It's getting lighter already, I can feel it. I bet it has too. Okay. I'm gonna make myself a club sandwich this Sunday. I went shopping yesterday at Walmart. If you don't think that this bailout's gonna hurt us, I bought the same exact thing I always buy, and the price was twice as much. I usually spend about $50 a week. Between $50 and $60 a week. It was $110 this trip out. So we're in for a big surprise. Gasoline, when I bought gas, it was $1.24. Yesterday it was $1.89. It'll be $5 a gallon come summertime. God, people are stupid. What we got there? Richard, it's going to be Japanese tissue. I have some very expensive free flight tissue. It's $15 a sheet. It'll take about, it takes 4 sheets for the wing. And probably another 2 sheets for the rest. It's about 6 sheets total. So just the covering is 30, 60, $100 just the covering. But you get what you pay for. Let me see if I can find it here. Now it's here somewhere. At least it was. That's now I can't find it. Hope I didn't throw it out. Yeah, it's right here. This covering here is is what I'm going to use. It's Japanese tissue. What makes it so expensive is Japanese tissue is made in 18 by 24 inch sheets. Or that's the biggest I've ever seen it. This is 18 by 30. Comes from England. Super quality, good stuff. Easy to work with. That's another reason why it costs so much is the shipping. I think it was about $3,000 to get it over here. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was ridiculous. Put it in a tube and mail it off. I got some carbon. I'm going to put in a couple of different spots. What do I think it helps? I don't know. I'm going to put that carbon on the airplane I'm building. I'm going to reinforce this area right here. I'll lay some on the new airplane. This will all be carbon up in the leading edge of this area here. Do I think it helps? I don't know. It can't hurt, I guess. But I'll put carbon up in the leading edge of this area on the new airplane. Only because a hole got poked right here back at Huntersville a couple years ago. It was an accident, and a wind came up. My helper poked a hole in the wing. So to prevent that on the new airplane, I put that extra spar in there, running this way approximately in that area, and then we'll put some carbon over there to harden it up. I'm also going to have some different ways to hold it. We're going to hold it by the fuselage and not by the wing, but I just want to be sure that it doesn't happen again. Well, I think I'm going to make lunch. It's time. Been on an hour and a half. I appreciate you watching. Might be back later if I got something exciting to share or whatever. Of course, there's not much exciting about anything I'm doing here. Let's see here. I need to lock that. Lock. The rest of them are locked. That's good. Okay. All right, so check back later. We might be back on. Till I see you again. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.